Well, welcome everybody back to the Flying Doghouse. I thought it might be cool to take a look at another aircraft that's baked into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Standard. And we're going to take a look at the Beechcraft G36. And full disclosure, it's not all rainbows and butterflies. Anyway, we're going to take a look. It's one of my favorite aircraft in Microsoft Flight Sim 2020. So there are a few issues, all kidding aside, there are a few issues that are very aggravating with the aircraft. So just looking forward to that getting fixed by the vendor. So we'll leave that at that, I guess. Okay. So, what would you want to know about the Beechcraft G36? Well, it's definitely classic. It's definitely iconic. And it's been manufactured since 1947. It's a six-seater, single engine. More than 17,000 have been made. With the original design, I believe, offering the V-tail. And then the more conventional tail configuration that we're used to seeing. Anyway, it's a great aircraft for sure. All right, so what else would you want to know? Well, I guess some fun stats. So, crew of 1, capacity of 5 passengers. Length 27 feet 6 inches, wingspan 33 feet 6 inches, height 8 feet 7 inches, with a wing area of 181 square feet. Empty weight is 2,517 pounds, with a gross weight of 3,650 pounds, and one Continental 300 horsepower engine. Again, this is a general aviation classic. All right, what else would we offer up? Let's see. Cruising speed, 203 miles an hour, 176 knots. Range, 716 nautical miles. Ferrying range, 930 nautical miles, right? So we assume, crew of 1 for that, right? Service ceiling, 18,500 feet. Rate of climb, 1,230 feet per minute. All right. So what else would I tell you about the 36? Nickname, the Doctor Killer. And I can think that relates to early on number of accidents from inexperienced pilots. So it is a bit slippery. It definitely will try to kill you if you don't know what you're doing in terms of getting out of a spin. So manage your stall speed. It's you can wrestle with it, and you can get yourself into an unrecoverable spin. Easy for me to say. All right, so hopefully this gives you a good overview of the aircraft. So next up, we are going to turn our attention to a cold and dark start. So when we come back, we'll be on the tarmac at first flight at Kitty Hawk. So we will be back in just a minute. Okay, we're going to do a walk around and get ready to take off in our G36. But I happened to notice as I was walking around here at first flight, there's a black bear. How cool is that? And that's probably a little too close for comfort. Yeah, I'll take one of those pilots to go, one with the crunchy cream center. Anyway, so the last time I was flying in and out of here, I did see a beaver, which is not really all that likely of an occurrence. But anyway, let's let's walk over here to the Bonanza. And we'll hustle it up a little bit. Oh, looks like we got another beach craft on the ground over here. That's kind of interesting. All right. So anyway, here we are with the Bonanza. Let's go ahead and take care of the chocks. Okay. And again, if you haven't seen these before, these are inspection points that you can walk your way through. All right, let's jump inside the aircraft. Okay, here we are. All right, so let's go ahead and get the camera views out of the way. So I think people appreciate this. So you can decide whether or not you need to create your own custom camera views. So shift 1, shift 2, shift 3 to the middle console, shift 4. So we've got lower switches here. Shift 5 gets us to the fuel switch. You can switch tanks. Shift 6 gets you to circuit breakers, and shift 7 will as well. On the co-pilot side. Shift 8 will give you the view out of the pilot window, and 9 will take you forward. Okay, so let's go to shift 6. Excuse me, shift 5. There we go. And let's cut the fuel selector on. And we'll use shift spacebar to take ourselves back forward. Pull out, pull the view out a little bit. Okay, so here we go. Beef number 1 with the Beechcraft 36. The click spot for show hide yoke visibility prevents you from getting to the lion's share of the switches down below. That's an immersion breaker, folks, so hopefully Microsoft will get that one fixed. That one's very aggravating, so I'm not going to run through an entire checklist. So go ahead and self-edit that in your, I guess, in your comments. Anyway, we'll come back and take a look perhaps later. So let's go ahead and get the battery on. We got the parking brake on, alternator. Got the avionics on, let them come up. Mixture and prop look good. Crack the throttle. And I'm going to get ourselves an engine start here. Well, that was kind of quirky. All right. New bugs daily. All right, so let's jump outside the plane. It looks great. In full disclosure, I mean, the flights I've taken in it so far in 24 are fine, but there's some additional bugs in the cockpit as well. So again, switches just don't work. You can't get to them because of the mapping of the show hide yoke. Let's see which ones we can. So notice as I moused over the floodlight, it shows yoke. As does the panel lights. It looks like taxi lights are okay. Landing lights are okay. Pitot heat is okay. Strobe is okay. But the beacon and nav are not. So yeah, so let's get that fixed, please. Otherwise, startup procedure for this is pretty straightforward, right? So it's not an overtly complex sequence of events to get going here. All right, so there's your revised cold and dark startup process for the G36. It's buggy. And the engine just started. Totally bizarre. All right, so what we are going to do next is we're going to save a little bit of time in the video instead of watching me taxi. We're going to pause recording and I'll make my way over to the runway and I'll get the aircraft configured. We'll use, I guess I can go ahead and I'll set the flaps to 12, so that'll get those set and we'll make our way over and then we'll have our flight over to Manteo. So we're going to go from first flight over to Manteo and yeah, just take a look and experience what this aircraft is all about. So here we go. Let's we'll be back here in just a sec at the end of runway 3. Okay, so we're getting ourselves set up and configured at the end of runway 3 at first flight. So we're going to have a fly from first flight over to Manteo. So we'll make our way out. I'm going to maintain pretty high manifold pressure and RPM on the way out, just to kind of move us along on the flight, and we'll make our way to the south, and then we will turn at Jockey Ridge State Park, and then we'll use that to make our approach over to Manteo. So let's switch over to Flightsim.to at the end of the runway, and we will get going here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and get ready for our takeoff roll here. All right, we'll run it up. Airspeed is alive. And we're up. Gear coming up. Airspeed's good. Flaps coming up. All right, we're going to make our turn here. Oh, look at that beautiful bird. And we'll make our way down past the memorial here. And I'm going to leave the engine to the firewall here for another 60 seconds or so, and then we'll we'll back off and start our turn into Manteo. And I'm going to use Jockey Ridge State Park as my landmark. We're making our turn. So with the G36, there are two principal variants, right? There's the V-tail, which was the original design, and then the more traditional tail configuration we have here. This is just a beautiful airplane. It's a classic. It's hard to believe that it was designed and built in 1947. Gorgeous. And thousands upon thousands of operating hours too, right? Even though early on it did have the nickname of being the Doctor Killer. And I think that's alluding to not exactly the most docile aircraft being in the hands of a perhaps inexperienced pilot. And it will try to kill you if you get into a stall situation. It'll drop a wing and try to go into a spin. So you have to carefully manage your airspeed, and you need to be mindful of that on approach. It's a gear coming down, getting ready to drop flap here. And we got flaps 1.
500.
A little bumpity there. A little turbulence. Get your pulse rate up. All right, we're in good shape on finals. We've got last setting of flap coming in here. Airspeed looks good, and we're in the neighborhood of about 65. And we are over the threshold. And gently bring this down. Here we go. And we'll get on the brakes here and see if we can make our first taxiway turn. Passengers on board probably wouldn't have done that way, but it's fine for our overview. All right, so what do I think of the G36 in Flight Sim 2024? Is it sim-worthy? Yes, it is sim-worthy. Is it aggravating in its current state? Absolutely, and it needs to get fixed. So until it's fixed, I'm going to give it a solid sim-worthy C. So we'll look forward to Microsoft and Asobo making the necessary repairs to get that appropriately taken care of for us. It's a lot of fun to fly. Making our way over toward the term. We'll taxi over here to our, looks like we got a good parking spot. All right, so if you haven't already done so, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you know when new videos come out. So we'll continue working our way through aircraft in the 2024 realm. We can go back and take a look at some of the aircraft that have been updated from Flightsim.to. But we'll work our way through some of the cool things that have been added to Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Standard Edition. So this has been the Beach Bonanza G36. I do hope everybody is keeping well. And welcome to Manteo. All right, everybody. Take care. Cheers, y'all.